Hello guys and welcome back to the Drunken Floor. I'm Nati.
And I'm Liam.
And today we're talking about like being a geek and a nerd and the differences between the two.
Yeah, now our opinions about being a nerd, being a geek.
Exactly. And we are in Leon's apartment today.
Yeah.
And as you can see in the background, he's a geek. A nerd, excuse me.
Thank you. I'm not a geek.
No?
I do not qualify.
Okay.
So, but first of all, we need to get...
Need a beer.
Yeah. So, here comes Hobo Steve to the rescue.
Again. There we go.
Thank you.
I always open with my teeth.
Yeah, and I hit you every time you try to.
There we go. So, stupid amateur.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cheers.
Cheers, dude.
Okay.
So,
Geeks and nerds.
you identify yourself as a nerd.
I'm a nerd, yeah.
What's your definition?
Well, a nerd is, in my definition, is the difference between a nerd and a geek.
Mm-hmm.
As I was saying, I identify as a nerd myself. And that's because, well, I like old stuff, weird stuff.
You're passionate about it.
I'm passionate about it, and I collect old video games. I collect old toys, and generally has a general understanding about a lot of old pop culture references and stuff. I collect Ninja Turtles figures, Ghostbusters
And you
figures.
have a lot.
Yeah, I have a lot of them, and I will show you in another episode. We will do a tour of the cave. This is my nerd cave we're sitting in.
I was just about to say, we have to put a picture in of all your collection.
My collection.
Your entire collection, yeah.
It's been downsized a lot over the years.
Okay.
I have a wall of consoles, but not as many as I had once, and that's because I've become kind of a selective collector. In the beginning, when I started collecting again, I just wanted everything, from Atari to Segas to Nintendos, everything, whatever, Amigas, Amstrads, everything about and around gaming. At one point, I have nearly 600 PlayStation 2 games.
600?
600, yeah. And now I think
that's disturbing.
Yeah, and now I've sold a lot of it off, and I think I'm around 100 games now. And that's because, well,
wow.
For me, the collecting became, it went from collecting everything to having this nostalgia around it instead of.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to get every game, I don't need 20 years of FIFA games. I don't even like football. And
Why
I will
did
never
you
play.
collect FIFA?
Well, the games at the time were cheap and I didn't have them, so so they were just part of the thing. A lot of sports games, a lot of titles.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. And then I started to go through my collection and say, well, I will never play this. Not only FIFA games, but also a lot of RPGs and shooters, rail shooters especially. It's not the kind of game that I play. So instead of keeping them, I sold them off to people who enjoy the kind of games instead of.
Yeah.
And the same as when it comes to the other consoles. Well, I didn't grow up with an Amiga. I had an Amiga with 5,000 games on discs.
Amiga?
Yeah, Amiga. It's a computer. Computer Amiga. It's a Commodore Amiga.
Okay.
I had a Commodore 64 when I was growing up, but never Amiga. And so there was not that nostalgic feeling to it, and it just took up too much room. So I sold off that system with all the games. So now I'm down to, what is it? 3, 6, 9. I think 14 different consoles. Yeah, only.
Just.
Well, at one point I had 25.
I have a
different
tiny Wii in there.
Yeah.
I actually miss playing Wii.
I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I grew up with Nintendo, and then I had a break from gaming and when it comes to console gaming.
Yeah.
For about 10 years. And when I moved down here to Bonjour, where I'm living, I didn't know anybody, so I bought an Xbox 360 and started gaming again. And then, I would like to play that game and that game. And then I started collecting again. But for me, the collecting, as I was saying in the beginning, I wanted everything. Now I'm more selective. Yeah.
Wow.
One of my go-to consoles will always be the Nintendo NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the first one. And I grew up with that system. And the games that I have now is either games that I had as a kid, played with friends or in the youth club with other people. Games that I have a nostalgic feeling, and also a couple of games that I've heard about should be good.
But like, out of curiosity, like, what's your opinion on Nintendo Switch?
I don't have one.
I never understood the concept. Like, it's a screen, but then you can pop the controllers off.
It's because it is
it's an oversized, overrated Game Boy, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I understand the appeal. You have a console that you can take with you with a decent screen. I have had Game Boys a lot actually. At one point, I had 15.
I had
Game
a pink
Boys,
transparent Game Boy Color. Oh, good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
But it's not that. This is a fully fledged gaming system, and I see the appeal because you can have it with you all over the place. If you are on the Wi-Fi, you have the same possibilities as you have on any other system.
Yeah.
When you're at home, I'm low on power, you can just put it in the dock, take the controls, and then you can play along, keep on playing on your TV.
Yeah, I get the concept. It is cool, but I just haven't caught up.
Maybe, and now the light also is out. It's a smaller frame, so it's easier to put in a bag and bring along. And the playtime is actually pretty decent. I get the idea, but Nintendo has also been the company that they say it's the child and family friendly console. Yeah. From Nintendo, and I get that. And that's also why most of my time today on this generation of consoles I've spent on. Yeah, I both have a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One.
I've always been into PlayStation.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I was more than a Nintendo kid. I played a lot of PlayStation 1 and 2 at the youth center and at the youth club, but it was never a console that I had at home.
I have always seen like you're either into generally you're either into Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah, and I have both. I know, and I think I got the PlayStation 4 from a friend when Fallout 4 came out, and we were excited about it. And he asked, "Are you going to play it in New Zealand?" Yeah, but dude, I do not have a PlayStation 4. So, it doesn't matter. I'm off work those days, so I will take my console, and then he would come here, visit me, buy the Fallout 4. We are both big Fallout 4 fans. A lot of Fallout fans in general. So he would visit me, bring his console, and buy the new Fallout 4 on way.
Cool.
When he then arrived, he had the PlayStation. I said, "That's not your PlayStation." So, nope. That's your new PlayStation 4 or something. Are you serious? And yeah, he bought me a PlayStation 4 with Fallout, with a season pass, so I could play the hell out of it.
Oh, that's it.
And we played fucking Fallout for nearly 2 days straight.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
get it.
He's my best friend in the whole world, and he does that sometimes. And best dude ever. I love him.
He's a sweetheart.
He is, yeah. And that's when I got the PlayStation 4. Then time passed on, and a couple of years ago, I always thought that the Xbox controller was better in my hands. I've always liked the Xbox controllers.
Well, earlier today we talked about like PlayStation 3 controller, which is a little smaller, but I have really tiny hands. And
the PlayStation 2 controller.
Oh yeah, 2.
Yeah, the 2.
Sorry, yeah. There's a 2 controller.
Yeah.
It's so tiny, like the handles and stuff. Yeah. Compared
you don't have to stretch your fingers so long to get to
compared to the PS4.
The thumbsticks, yeah.
My tiny thumbs, they can't reach.
Yeah.
Well, and then they hurt after a while. So, yeah.
And that's because I think it's because of the touchpad they had to put into.
It's fucked up. Just go away. I've always been into PlayStation.
My biggest problem with the PS4 controller is when you're using your PS4 for other than gaming. When you're watching movies and such and YouTube.
Oh yeah, and you put it on the couch.
If you put the controller on your couch, the R2 1 and 2 buttons, they hit and then you go into the next episode. Then
go away.
Yeah, it's freaking annoying. And when you pick up an Xbox One or Xbox 360 controller, they're covered, so you can just toss it over on the couch and watch, and the buttons won't get touched. I also think the button there, it's more natural for your hands. That's maybe just because I'm not that.
We grew up with it.
Yeah, you grew up with it. Yeah, it's what you have been used to.
You had a lot of controllers.
Yeah, it's what you have been used to. I think it's also when people mention the Nintendo 64 controller. It's it has this big flaw that the control stick, it gets worn out. But I still think it felt good in the hands. It was a weird fucking looking controller. I have it right over here. Just a second.
It just brought back so much nostalgia for me, like the PS2 controller.
Yeah, but this controller.
I never held such a controller.
Yeah, it looks fun, and you think, oh.
It looks like a spaceship. Like.
Yeah. But
what's this shit? Like them can hold like.
Most of the games you will play it in different mode. But mostly you would have one hand in the middle and the hand over here.
Yeah.
You would rarely use it like this.
Okay.
Most of the games it was the thumbstick.
That's fucking fancy.
You have a trigger on the bottom, start, and you use those.
That's fancy.
It feels good. It's tiny. You can reach everything. Nothing is you have to stretch your fingers or anything. And a concept that got worked on. I can also use the D-pad over here. But yeah, I think it looks funny, but it's well thought out.
It's a smart design.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And you could, if you are extremely left-handed,
Which you are.
You could. There was always an option to switch over to the other side. Yeah. But yeah, that's nerdy, geeky.
But cheers, dude.
Cheers. Yeah. Oh.
So good.
But yeah, and then as I was saying, I collect old Turtles toys from the early 90s, 80s.
But if you ask me, like, if you're a major passionate collector, to me, that's a geek.
Yeah, because then you don't care anymore about if it's something you enjoy. You just need to have it to complete your collection. Then you're a completionist collector.
Yeah. But I just find the definition between nerd and geek amusing in a way. Because when I'm in the lobby and I play whatever, League of Legends or whatever,
Fortnite,
all that
yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah. Especially League of Legends. I always greet the teammates with "Hey nerds," and they take it as such a huge insult.
Yeah.
In a way, but to me it's a compliment.
Me too.
Hey, you're
being
a
nerdy.
giant nerd.
Yeah.
You're gaming. Come on.
I think the root for the definition for geek for me is when somebody goes into so much detail telling about a game or the source code and thing, they're geeking out. They're going to a level that does not concern regular people.
So you're turtles and your stuff.
When it comes to turtles, well, I'm maybe a geek because that's not the right sort for him because it has to have another shade of brown or in that version it clicked off the rail from that point, not that point. So that's a second or third iteration.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I can geek out about turtles and Ghostbusters and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of, I also know a couple of people who are majorly into Warhammer. Yeah. Warhammer 40k. Which I'm getting into myself.
Yeah.
Lewis, one of my good buddies, he just sent me all the way from Wales some Warhammer figures.
Figures, yeah.
Yeah, I can paint figurines. Oh yeah. Figurines. I just call them tiny curds.
Tiny curds.
They're all curd.
Okay.
That's fun. But yeah, then I can paint them, and that's so exciting. But he's also a geek, and he identifies himself as geek.
Yeah.
Like, because he's so passionate about it, and so it's a funny subject. Yeah. Or yeah.
I think for me, when you're a geek, then you can geek out about, you can nerd out about subjects, and you can geek out. When you're talking nerd, most people can follow you most of the way.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about and know stuff. But when you're geeking out about something, you're going out to the peripheries and really, really go into weird, dumb little details.
Yeah, because you can also, like, let's say people who are reading a lot, book lovers, bookworms, like the whole, for example, like Harry Potter.
Yeah. You can be a Harry Potter nerd and you can be a Harry Potter geek.
Geek.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then you're really passionate and you know every single fucking fact about it and what's not, eh?
Exactly. What's Harry Potter's favorite
cereal?
Yeah, exactly. That's geeky and the non-necessary knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you're geeking out. You can love Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter, but I'm not a nerd about it. I have a friend. She's a Harry Potter geek.
Whatever.
Well, she can citate most of the Harry Potter from memory.
Wow.
And that's just weird and that's geeky. Oh. Where the nerd can talk Harry Potter in general and she would correct them and say, "Oh, it's like that." And so, it's a Leviosa against Leviosa.
So fancy.
Yeah, I think actually that's a very good example. How to get a feather to levitate. It's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa.
I prefer the first one.
Yeah.
Leviosa.
But yeah, I think that's a good definition. Hermione is a geek, and the rest are.
Yeah.
She's a geek in the universe.
Yeah. Because she's so.
She wants to know everything.
Correct.
Yeah. And she corrects other people. Geeks correct other people. Correct nerds. Nerds can correct geeks because.
But they get offended.
Yeah, they get offended.
Exactly.
Sometimes, but yeah.
But it's like the whole aspect or term when it comes to geek and nerds is like it's only when it comes to gaming or books. But there's also like programming and science and you can't call it science nerd. It's more like a science geek in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or do you disagree? No, or when you're into programming, it's also like you're geeky about it. You're not. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I do get what you mean, but I think well, a geek does not understand why you're not so passionate about. Let's take programming as he is. you know what he's talking about, but you actually don't care because you don't need to go into the
all the
ones and
tiny
zeros
details.
and tiny details of programming. You get what he's trying to do, but that you're not so passionate and they can't do it. A lot of geeks, they don't, they can't comprehend that you're not as excited about niche things as they are.
Yeah, niche things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good definition.
Yeah. That's correct.
And well, some of my friends, they are geeks, some are nerds, and they know that I not speak their language because I don't speak CC plus and Avro and you know what. But they still appreciate that I listen to them, and I can follow the conversation somewhat. I can help out with graphics because, well, most of them, they are not creative people. So I can make some graphics for when they're making games on the computer, but as images. When it comes to programming them into the game and make them work, I have no idea. I know what they need. I can create what they need, but making it work, I'm lost. I have no idea.
But what's the game you've been gaming the absolute most? You know most about, and you've wasting. That's such a negative word. Like
the game that I've
for me, it's
Fallout.
For me, it's League of Legends. I would say League of Legends and an MMORPG called Meeting 2. In the good old days.
I think
that's like my entire teenage years.
Well, I played a lot of Diablo, but not enough. I think Fallout or Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, ooh.
Yeah. So some of them games in recent memory. But as a kid, Probotector was a game.
I never heard of it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, we're in Europe, we're in Denmark. Probotector is the European name for Contra for the Nintendo NES. It's called Contra.
No idea what it is.
It's a shooter where you have these two soldier guys going up against an enemy. But because it was too violent, it was reprogrammed for the European market.
Yeah.
Geeking out. It was reprogrammed for the European market and made out to robots killing other robots instead. So it's called a Probotector instead of Contra. And most of the rest of the world knows as Contra.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think it's what was we talking about before?
Just a game you've been doing the most.
But Fallout and the Fallout lore, the Fallout. I can geek out about Fallout.
For years.
Yeah, I've played all the games, and still to this day, I have not completed Fallout New Vegas. I haven't completed Fallout 4.
I'm such a completionist.
Yeah.
When it comes to games.
But there's a problem for me with Fallout, I'm also a completionist. But you can only go to this point in New Vegas, and then you have to choose. We'll go that way. Which fraction are you going to follow?
I have to finish everything.
And then it's 4 or 5 different endings.
What?
I have, yeah.
Damn.
And of course I can make a save file, and then when I have done one path, go back to that, another path, go back to that, and yeah. And I think I have logged in 2,500 hours in Fallout New Vegas.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And
I still haven't finished it because I want to find everything.
Yeah, I have the same feeling.
Yeah.
It's just it's the same with me and Borderlands, for example. Like, I'm such a huge fangirl when it comes to Borderlands. I fucking love those games. And I bought the deluxe edition just because, I had the money, apparently. I lived off of nothing. Because I just need that game.
Pasta and ketchup and rice.
Yeah. And,
good gamer diet.
oh yes.
Ramen.
Yes.
A lot of ramen.
It's delicious. But I'm such a completionist, and there's constantly something to do and side missions and stuff in Borderlands. It's extreme.
Yeah.
I can play for hours, like hundreds of hours, before I complete the game, because I want to experience every single side mission.
Yeah.
And then I'm just too overleveled for the main mission.
Yeah.
And that's so silly, but I can't end it, because then I know the ending of the story and whatever. Then there's the side missions after.
Yeah.
And I like to track them like by the level, and that's my major weakness when it comes to games like that. And the same with my new Assassin's Creed Origins, where I'm a harmless assassin in the ancient Egypt.
That's also a collectathon, I think, because you have
such an open world, and
and then you have to find all those little flags and and every bit of thing everywhere. But also, I don't know if you know this YouTube channel called Shottycast.
Nope.
Okay. Shottycast, they make lore videos about Fallout, Skyrim, Oblivion, The Witcher.
Witcher?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
And you're just getting into this lore, and especially the Fallout one, where you're following the storyteller. And when you see something from the game, I was like, ooh, I want to find that also.
Yeah.
And I think that's also one of those things that make me play a game a lot, but never complete it, because I have the fear of missing out.
Same. Yeah.
FOMO.
That's good.
Fear of missing out. Yeah, young speak. I do young speak.
Oh my god. I was just about to say, when are you saying lol? LOL.
Lol.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh well, FOMO. Yeah, I also think that's the reason I'm so into all the side missions. Like, I don't want to miss out.
And then you never... Sometimes I have games that I have played for hours and hours and hours. I have never completed, because actually sometimes...
Then it's ending.
And sometimes just the main mission is just boring compared to some of the lore and the story you can get from all the side missions.
That's the reason I fucking love Borderlands. I can't get enough of Borderlands. Because of this, the humor, everything, the satire. Now I want to play Borderlands.
Yeah. Well, maybe tomorrow.
But
geeks, nerds,
What's
they are all lovely people. If you know a nerd, if you know a geek, treat them with the respect they deserve. You will never have a person more not trustworthy, but they always have something to talk about.
We have to talk about the gamer community in general and how toxic it is. But that's in another episode.
That's another episode, another week. This is a Thursday episode, so little Friday episode. So for all of you out there, cheers.
And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Skull.